It's 7 p.m. here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is Saturday night from CarEdge with your hosts, me, Ray, wearing my Sherpa shirt jacket, and Zach, who apparently only owns one hoodie.
One hoodie, folks, caredge.com/shop. I think that'll take you there. We got our Black Friday sale continuing to run back on caredge.com, goes through the end of the month. But Dad, tonight we are going to be talking about greedy car dealers that are paying the price, man. Rising inventory is leading to incredible car deals. If you've been in the market waiting to buy a car, listening to us and others on the internet tell you, hey, wait. Now's the time, folks. Holy cow. But I was thinking we could start tonight, Dad, doing a trip down memory lane. How does that sound? We could look at some of the markups and the actions and activities that dealers were taking a year ago. We can review them, and then we can juxtapose that with what we're seeing in the market today. And then I was thinking we could spend a decent chunk of time tonight actually reviewing car deals and trying to help some folks out. How does all that sound?
Well, it's your show. You're the director. Whatever direction you want to take it, I'm in, buddy.
Our show. This is a family affair. Let's start here, Dad. We're going down memory lane. Look at that up in the top. This is from September 1st of 2022. So one of the things I'm very passionate about when I want to talk about tonight, when I want to get my dad's input on, is not forgetting what happened a year ago. I think as human beings, Dad, we have a short attention span, a short memory. This is from 1 year ago, folks, a little over a year ago.
14 months ago. 14
months ago. We're at Jenkins Kia of Ocala. This was sent to us. I went back in my email inbox earlier today, and I found a few of these that we could review. We're looking for a Kia K5, okay? A Kia K5. I don't think, Dad, keep me honest here, was there a moment where the Kia K5 was the hot commodity during the car shortage of 2022? Like, has the Kia K5 ever been the go-to thing?
Not that I'm aware of, but maybe in Ocala, Florida, which is horse country, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. All right, Dad. So look at this. So it starts out good, right? Customers got a trade in. They're trading in their 2022 Kia Stinger. So let's come back to that in just a moment. Starts out good. Let's just focus on the first two lines. The dealer is selling the car for $30,665. Again, this is a trip down memory lane from 1 year ago. They're even offering a discount of $5,097.75. Okay.
Wow.
Now, again, this was in the midst of the throes of the car shortage on a Kia K5. They were then adding I'm going to say it's mandatory because it's on the OTD quote here, $2,863 Jenkins protection package.
Yes.
And the $5,298 market adjustment.
That more than makes up for that $5,097 discount. Okay. So that discount wasn't a discount. Got it. Okay. And that Jenkins protection package, that's one of them horse-sized condoms for the car to protect it. Yes.
Why is that where your mind goes to?
Well, because we're in Ocala, Florida. I've been to Ocala, Florida, buddy.
All right, Pops. Well, here you go. Ultimately, at the end of the day, and you can even see here, the trade allowance was only $40,000. This is back when your trade-in was supposed to be worth way more than what you owed on it. This customer was even upside down on their trade-in way back when. So this was just a year ago, 14 months ago, folks. Dealers were playing games like these. And see, on some vehicles, it made sense that we were seeing markups. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but it made sense. This was on a 2022 Corvette. This was the C8 Corvette. Everyone and their brother wanted one. I get it. Should the dealer be charging $75,000 market adjustment? Of course not. Were they able to do that because it was a kind of more specialty vehicle? Yeah. So this is stuff that we were seeing during the car shortage that I don't want to say makes more sense, but at least you could kind of rationalize it maybe a little bit, right, Pops?
Sure. Yeah,
you can't.
Everything is market based. Whatever the market will bear at the time. If you're in Las Vegas and you're charging an extra $7,500 for that vet or $75,000 for that Corvette because you're hoping, I don't know, somebody's going to hit one of them big slot machine payouts and say the first thing they want to do once they get that check, I got to get me a Corvette. Then maybe it makes sense. the $5,300 market adjustment and the $2,900 protection package. That doesn't make sense.
No, it absolutely doesn't. And then I just want to be very clear with the vehicle that's on the screen, Dad. This is a 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. Okay, let's go back again down memory lane. Volkswagen Tiguans, I mean, this is a used one, a gently used one, but still, I don't think they were that hot commodity. This is the crap that people were dealing with amidst the car shortage. Here's the market value
Yeah.
selling price, plus the reconditioning, plus
Yeah.
a market adjustment. This is all on a used car, folks, back in the throes of all the market adjustments, and then the
Yeah.
$1,000 dock fee. This is
Seems
the
very
insanity.
reasonable. I hope that dealer choked on that vehicle.
Exactly, Dad,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think it's important that we take this trip down memory lane to remind ourselves that as the market is finally changing, crap like this was normalized. This was entirely normal just 1 year ago. Dad, online advertisements for cars looked like this. In
Yeah.
transit Ford F-150s. And y'all might be thinking, oh, Zach, you just pulled up a Raptor. That's why it has the market adjust. No, this is an XLT.
Okay, yeah, maybe they just got a little crazy. Maybe I don't know where this is. Corwin Ford of Springfield. There's like 8 million Springfields in this country, so I don't know which Springfield it is. But apparently, it's in a Springfield where, well, F-150s at that time were in short supply, and anybody in their right mind was willing to pay a almost 100% market adjustment in order to be able to buy one. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
This is where we were. Greed is not necessarily the appropriate word to describe what was going on just a year ago, 14
Yeah.
months ago, and even hell earlier this year, it was going on too. Now, Dad, the market has entirely flipped. Let's put some big macro numbers to this, and then we're going to look at some specific car deals.
Macro, that means we're looking wide, doesn't it?
We're looking big picture. Before
Okay.
we go there, or actually, let's
Yeah.
go there right now. August of 2022. New car inventory was at a little over 1 million units available. Okay. 37 days supply, 1 million units available. November of the same year, the trend was starting to build up. 1.55 million units of inventory available, 50 days supply. The latest data we have from November of this year, Pops, you and I
Yes.
both know it, 2.4 million in a 67 days supply. I want to just pose the question to you. The dealers that we reviewed a second ago, the deals,
Yeah.
the examples, those greedy dealers, they're paying the price right now, or at least they should be paying the price right
Well,
now
I would
because
hope they're
inventory is
paying I mean,
skyrocketing.
I would hope everybody that they tried to get to pay a market adjustment, everybody that they tried to dupe and take advantage of, is now saying, I don't care how much you lower the price. I'm not coming into your dealership. You tried to make me spend an extra $10,000 just for air, just for the privilege of forking over some money to you. So yeah, I hope that there's customers out there, there's consumers out there that perhaps we need to remind them of what was going on so that they can just say no to greed. Just say no. No, we're not going there. I'm not coming back. I'm not going to your dealership because your dealership tried to take advantage of everybody, um, you know, not all that long ago.
Yeah, Dad. And I think we need to be the folks that are reminding individuals that
Yes.
like this is exactly where the market was 1 year ago, and now like let's have a happy moment for a second here. Right? I'll pull up. I just started a thread over on Twitter or X. I said, "What is the best car deal you've seen recently?" I'll start. This is one of our community members, Dad. Got a $7,000 discount from the dealer on a Toyota 4Runner TRD off-road premium, and then an additional $1,500 incentive from the manufacturer. You go into the worksheet here. There it is, Dad. $7,000
But
discount on a Toyota.
I didn't see the rebate anywhere.
The rebate was the additional rebate the customer said was taken off on the final purchase order
I would
when
hope
they
so.
chose to
Okay.
when they
Okay.
chose to finance through Toyota.
Okay.
So you've
Okay.
got a
Cool.
dealer discount of $7,000 on a Toyota 4. That's way below invoice. You're dipping in the hole back at that. That's what's happening even for Toyota right now.
Yes. So now somebody's going to say, but where is that? That's not happening where I live. I can't get a deal like that in my driveway. So where is that? Where what part of the world does somebody have to go to perhaps get a deal like that? That's what
All
we
right,
need to
so
know.
let's jump to it. So we've got back on the community forum. I'm going to highlight two things that are 100% free that each of you should be using this end of year when you're going through the car buying process. This is at caredge.com/community. Click on success stories and then click on this success story right here from our community member, Vanessa. After waiting 3 long years to purchase a Toyota 4Runner, I finally got a brand new one for a great price. Went to Capital Toyota, a dealership in California. And if you
Wow.
scroll down here, you get all the details for the deal, folks. This is Capital Toyota in California. If you end up going there, tell them CarEdge sent you. So that's number one on the community forum. Go check out the success stories. The second thing I want to make everyone aware of is if you click right there on Deal School 3.0, this is a 100% free car buying course that is full of incredible information that everyone needs to go through before they buy a car at the end of this year. You want to know how much car you can afford? You click on it. We got a video. It's got the key takeaways. You even have, if I'm not mistaken over here, let me pull it up. You even have the chat, so you can put chat questions tied to the lesson, as well as PDF files that you can download with your cheat sheets.
And
Free.
that's how
Free,
much?
folks.
No,
Free.
was that FREE, like in free, like if it is for free, it is for me?
Exactly, Dad.
Oh my
Exactly. So those things, like for example, that awesome deal on the Toyota that we just saw, that AG's right. That
Yeah.
dealer's definitely going after some sort of volume bonus. There's
Of
no reason you
course.
sell
Yes.
that far back.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
really into holdback on that or even beyond the holdback. And this is why you go use the free resources we have so that you can be an informed shopper. Get yourself a good deal.
Did Vanessa have a trade-in? Or did
I
they or were they just taking what I like to call a bow, a big ass loss?
think they were just taking a bow, Dad. I think they were
Wow.
taking a big ass loss because it looks like she said here, yeah, yeah. They matched her pre-approval with her credit union, offered
Yeah.
$1,500 rebate if they went with Toyota financing.
Wow, very cool. Congratulations, Vanessa. If I actually spend any time in the community, and I'm supposed to, but don't tell anybody. If I spent the time there and like I'm supposed to, I would have awarded you the Ray Shefska stamp of approval because damn it, that deal deserves it. So congratulations to you, Vanessa. You are living proof that if you're willing to work at it, you can find a good deal. You just have to work at it. Sometimes you have to work a little harder than you would like, but the payoff for that is, well, here's a case where you got a $7,000 discount from the dealer and $1,500 from Toyota Finance. That's $8,500 that a year ago this could literally, this could be like a $17,000 swing in the last year, because a year ago you might have paid an $8,500 market adjustment to be able to buy that vehicle. Okay, so today you're getting 85. That's a $17,000 swing from a year ago. So for all the folks in all the comments who say no, pricing hasn't gone down, okay, yeah, the MSRPs haven't gone down. The amount of discount you can get and the incentives that you can get from the manufacturer means that the ultimate selling price that you're paying for it has gone down.
I mean, think about what you just said. Think about, like, let that sit for just like
Yeah,
let it permeate your mind for a second. A year ago, someone that swing of 15, 16, $17,000 is very real because we see the folks who are now upside down on those trade-ins every single
yes,
day when we're helping them back at CarEdge. And then you see a deal like this, and you ask the right question: did you have a trade-in? Because that could be extra leverage for the dealer to try and make some of the gross profit back.
sure.
They make, yeah, you might take a loss on the front end of a car deal, But if you get the trade in and you can make $1,000 there, $1,500, $2,000 there, and if you get the
It
financing,
might be $4,000 on the trade. Plus, there's another opportunity for the finance department. There's an opportunity for parts and service. So, yeah, I would have I'm thinking she must have had a trade because they're figuring either they under allowed on the trade, or they figure they can make a killing on the trade. But if there was no trade, none of that applies.
exactly. So no trade, and she came in. Think about that. Let's go back to the story really quick. Just give more kudos to Vanessa. She came in with a pre-approval from her credit union.
Yes.
So the OTD started at $49,000, got it down to $47,000. She wanted to be closer to $45,000. They found that if she financed through them, they get the extra 15. I mean, just textbook consumer having control in this situation, and a dealer not being greedy. A dealer saying, "Let me move it. Let me just move the thing. Let me get rid of it." Maybe it was aged. Dad, you talk about aging policies all the time. I was
Yes.
talking to one of our dealer partners this morning. He said on the 45th day that a car's sitting there, he's getting antsy. He's getting antsy.
Good
By the
for him.
60th day, he's done. He's like, guys, move it, figure it out, move it. Because by the 75th day, if he still sees it, he knows there's no more floor plan assistance coming from the OEM. He's like, I got to get rid of it. So look at this. That can be part of the leverage that you have to end up with a deal like this. And again, I just want to remind everyone where we started tonight was reminding ourselves that it was only about a year ago
Yes.
that this was the norm in this market. You're looking to buy not a Ford Raptor, an XLT, folks, and there was a $50,000 or $44,000 market adjustment. We have plenty of examples of where we were versus where we are now. The market has entirely flipped. The inventory is there. And now those greedy dealers don't send your business back to them. I hate to say this because I wish every business could do well, but holy
Sure.
cow, don't send your business to them. Don't
Don't-
do it, folks.
yeah,
In my opinion, sorry, this is my opinion, not
yeah.
CarEdge. In my opinion, don't do business with people who rip people off. Do business with the people who are being fair back then and are being fair now.
That is the key. I used to say to customers, the prices that I'm giving you are the prices that I will literally absolutely sell you the car for. And I'm not telling you, gee, you have to make your decision in the next 10 minutes. If you come back a week from now and I still have this vehicle, I will still sell it to you at this price. Now, having said that, if you look at me and you go, yeah, well, the other dealer told me X, and then you go to the other dealer and you find out that the other dealer lied to you, well, then you have a moral dilemma. Do you want to reward the dealer that lied to you, or would you rather reward the dealer that was straight up and honest with you? My hope would be, since I was the one that was straight up and honest with you, that you would come back to me. And probably 80% of those people did. Okay. And 20% were either too embarrassed to come back. I remember on a Friday, how in the good weather months
Mhm.
in Scottsdale, we used to do once a month, we would barbecue for the staff. And
Mhm.
and it was supposed to be for the staff of the Acura store, but we were on a campus that had 11 franchises plus the company accounting staff and everything. So even though it was just supposed to be for our team, it turned out it was for the whole damn campus. And I had customers that I was working with in the morning, and she was, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I'll hear just I hear what you're saying. Just allow me to share some information with you so that what they're telling you is not so. And I don't expect you to believe me that I'm telling you it's not so. Yeah, she was indignant about the whole thing. Well, that's where we're going to get the car. And about 2 hours later, when I'm out there cooking, barbecuing for the staff, I see them pull back up. Hell, she even came over and I gave her a hot dog. And she said, We'd like to buy the car now." Okay, we can do that for you. I was thankful that she wasn't so embarrassed that she wouldn't come back. And if you ever, as a customer, if you ever find yourself in that position, reward the dealer that told you the truth. Don't reward the one that lied to you. There should be there should be no financial reward to a dealer that uses deceptive practices to get you in the door in the first place, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, trust me, you and I 100% see eye to eye on that. I'm pulling back up this deal that we started looking at from a year ago for this Volkswagen Tiguan, this
Yeah.
lightly used Volkswagen Tiguan. You know, the dealer was advertising $26,925. And then you go in, there's the $3,000 reconditioning fee and the $2,000 market
Yeah.
adjustment. So let's say there was another dealer in the area selling a similar one for $32,000 flat. That was their advertised price. Go reward that one, not this one who's playing all
Yes.
these games. And a friendly reminder out there, because I actually had this come into my email inbox earlier today, that there are still some dealers trying to pull market adjustments. They are living in the past, guys. The market has entirely flipped. So do not fall prey to any of that crapola. And I will share caredge.com/dealer reviews. We have the dealer reviews. People are populating these, entering the dealer reviews. And before you say, well, Zach, anyone can enter a review, and the next thing you know, you're ending up with all sorts of crap reviews. When you click on a dealer review or go into a dealer profile, you can actually click on the individual that left the dealer review, and this will take you to their profile over on the community forum. So you can see what comments and posts they have left. And so this is a way for us to mitigate any potential spam from dealers and things like that. So go use dealer reviews, leave reviews, help the community identify dealers who are not playing these games while we're building out the dealer network. We're not going to be nationwide for a couple of years, gang. So please go use these community resources so that we can reward the dealers who weren't being greedy and really, in my opinion, not do business with those who were taking advantage of people when the inventory was 1/3 of what it is today. It is a good sign for the market that inventory is starting to build back up. It's a difficult challenge now for operators. Their floor plan expense probably went up 300-400%, but that's a good thing, because when you have such suppressed inventory, the consumer was really getting screwed. Okay. And that is no longer the story. The dealer, honestly, is the one getting screwed right now. They've got cars that they can't sell.
The dealer could be getting screwed right now. The smart operators are going to look at it and go, okay, let's treat this like we're pre-COVID. Or anybody that comes in and is threatening to buy a car, let's figure out how to make that so. Let's not chase them out of here. You know, let's take the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to deals. You've heard me say this. When I was a manager, I used to, and I would go out and close deals. I'd have to talk to customers, and as I used to explain to the customers, I think of myself as a potato farmer. Okay. And the dealer principal has said to me, you need to fill your bushel basket with potatoes by the end of the month. Now, in that bushel basket, there could be some big ass potatoes, BAPs, really big, fat, juicy potatoes that were a real nice gross profit. There could have been some medium potatoes that were an okay gross profit. And then there were small potatoes, deals that really might not have had much profit or any profit at all. But the idea was that big, small, or medium, I could end up filling that bushel basket at the end of the month. And I would look at customers and I would go, I'm just assuming for a second that you don't want to be one of my big ass potatoes. Would you be okay if you were one of the small potatoes? Because you're here now, you've expressed an interest. Let's figure out, even if you're a small potato, let's figure out how to get you into that car today. And people can sort of kind of relate to that, especially people in Idaho where it's big potato growing.
No one wants to be the big potato. Everyone understands they have to make money.
And
What
I
was
get
going
it.
on a year ago was everyone was being a big. This is a weird analogy.
Yeah.
Everyone was being a big potato,
Yeah.
and now we're going back to small potato times. All right, man. It's as simple as that. We got to get you on national TV, doing the potato analogy, because it resonates. We're all potatoes, man. We just want to be small potatoes, not big ones, and that's what the market is dictating right now.
Ain't nobody walking into a dealership going, I want to be that big ass Idaho russet baked potato you need for your bushel basket. Everybody wants to be the small potato. And I get that. Okay. And I used to have customers that say to me, most of the customers, well, you don't need to make any money on me. You don't need to make any money. I used to look at it, I said, you don't understand. Everybody says that to me. I got to make money somewhere. No, no, no. I go, okay, so let's assume that everybody says to me, you don't need to make money off of me. Well, the last car deal of the year, I got to charge some poor son of a bitch $36 million for his car because I haven't made any money off of anybody. It doesn't work. Everybody's got to pay a little something. Just a little something, something. Doesn't have to be a big something. Just a little something, something, so we can keep that potato bushel basket going.
This is like a Seinfeld episode. All right, we're going to talk about not only dealer greed, but OEM greed, the manufacturer greed, in just a second. First, we're going to come to the chat. We've got from Boss Fan here. Thank you for the kind contribution. And another with a question this time. Thank you for that,
Thank
Boss
you.
Fan. PSA, no matter how far upside down your loan is, as long as you make all your payments, you will never lose money. Hey, you know what? Thank you for the contributions and thanks for the wise words. Yes, drive the thing until the wheels fall off. That's 100% the best financial decision you could possibly make when it comes to buying and owning a vehicle. We've got from Just the Cinnamon Bun. Good to see you here. Thank you for the contribution. Bring back the Yugo. Bring back affordable wheels. Why that reaction, Dad? The Yugo?
No, I don't know. I remember the Yugo. I was around in the industry when the Yugo came out, and when the Yugo came out, the big pen in the country, ink pen, was the Bic Click. It was like the world's first disposable pen. And I looked at the Yugo and said, it's the Bic Click of cars. I mean, you ride it, you drive it till it breaks, and it won't take long. And once it does, you discard it on the side of the road, you go get yourself another. It was let's face it, when people thought of automotive engineering, their first thought wasn't, hey, let's go to Yugoslavia. Okay. It just wasn't. That wasn't where the world said that's the center of all automotive engineering. It was not. Okay. But it was, I get the point. Cheap, reliable transportation would be a great thing. But in order for that to happen, we have to change the way we as Americans view transportation. Okay. We have to say to ourselves, you know what? I could get by with a small car that seats 4. Okay. I don't need to have a big ass pickup truck or a big ass SUV. A little 4-door or 2-door vehicle that seats 4 fairly comfortably, I could get by with that. But most of us, we have been conditioned through advertising to think our life just will not be complete until we have that $100,000 SUV or that $100,000 pickup truck.
All right, and that's where we're going to turn our attention to next are the automakers, those who are producing the vehicles and actually looking at what they've done in terms of their lineups and providing affordable options. Before we do, I will mention, Dad, I was helping a customer just the other day with a Chevy Trax. He actually has supplier pricing on a Trax. I was talking to the dealer there in our network, and I was asking, will you guys take a supplier deal? And they said, of course, we'll take a supplier deal. $600 front-end margin on the invoice, and they're making $700 in holdback. So it was $1,300 deal. Customer is going to buy a $22,000 car.
Look at that. And I know, and I'll tell you the comments are, oh, it's a 3-cylinder piece of trash from Korea. Not every 3-cylinder car is a piece of trash. Okay. I put 45,000 miles on a mini hardtop 3-cylinder. Okay. It was perfectly fine. Now, I did get rid of it before the warranty expired. Okay. I will admit that because I would never want to own a Mini once the warranty is expired. But there are such things as 3-cylinder engines that are okay. And let's face it, if you're buying a $22,000 car, you're not expecting necessarily the fit, finish, ride, and everything else that you would be expecting if you were spending $100,000. There is that old saying that you do get what you pay for. But the truth of the matter is that $22,000 vehicle might last as long as that $100,000 vehicle.
Just how many $22,000 options do you have out there? How many dealers? We still hear the horror stories of dealers not accepting supplier price. Like, OEM check, they created an affordable vehicle. Dealer
Yeah.
check, accepting the guidelines of supplier pricing. Customer check, choosing a rational price point. Like it was an awesome deal to work on because everyone wins. Everyone absolutely wins. All right, let's talk a little bit about the OEM. And I will mention I put the little banner up on the screen, so please go check it out, CarEdge.com. We have our Black Friday promo running between now and the end of the month. We will also be doing one at the end of December. I will simply say this, though. We are already getting super freaking busy, folks, with people buying cars, and we're super glad to be able to help. That being said, if you're going to buy a car before the end of the year, consider signing up for our services now so that we can start coaching and working with you sooner rather than later, because that end of the year, that last week between Christmas and New Year's, we are staffing up.
It's going to be,
everyone's got the option because we give people time off.
Yeah.
So many people are going to be working. They're going to have extra PTO next year. I'm trying to incentivize people to want to work that last week of the year because we know we're going to be so busy with so many car deals. But I'm just encouraging people to take advantage of these promotions we have so that we can help you out sooner and then get you prepped for that end of year. Yeah.
I will suggest to you what I used to do for myself. As you know, when I worked for the Penske organization, I worked through New Year's Day, because we were closed on New Year's Day, and I would go in on New Year's Day, and I would, the campus was shut down. The only people there were security people, and I would go in and I would do my month end, my quarterly end, and my year end reports for my general manager. I'd spend about 2 or 3 hours, okay, taking care of all that. And then I would take like the first 5 days of January off. We were dead anyway.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen to us, Dad. I'm trying to incentivize people on the team to want to work during that period of time. Because I also want them to take time off. I think that's what we got to do at CarEdge. I think we got to have people work and then be like, all right, y'all can take, 5 days off, whatever, to take the week. I don't care because we're not going to be busy. I know we're not going to be busy a week later. It's just that week. Anyway, we'll talk about this offline. Excuse me. I'll pick your brain about this a little bit. All right, Dad, I want to go actually back to the chat. We've got a couple more contributions that came in, and then we are turning our attention to the OEM news. This is from Colonel Potter. Thank you for this. Bring back the station wagons, Dad.
I like station wagons. I basically drive a station wagon. My Clubman is basically a station wagon. I think the best car that Acura ever made was the TSX Sports Wagon. I kick myself every day for never having gotten one of those. I love a sporty station wagon. What was our favorite when we were doing reviews?
The Audi wagon. The Audi wagon.
What was it? RS8 Avant or RS6 Avant. Oh my! That was my favorite. I would. If I hit the lottery, and I can't because I don't play, but if somebody gifted me a lottery ticket that hit, and it was, I would buy that would be like the one splurge in my life that I really, really don't need, especially when you drive 3,500, 4,000 miles a year. But every one of those miles would be exhilarating miles when you drive an RS6 Avant.
Dad, we've got from Manuel. He says, thank you for the contribution. Dealerships said they would rather sell a car at a loss in the auction than lower it by $1,300 on a used F-150 King Ranch. Is this gamesmanship or are they being serious, Dad?
Manuel, what I'd like you to suggest to him is, what do you think the F&I department's opportunity is going to be when you sell that car at the auction? At least because the last dealer that bid on it, he's not going through their finance and insurance department. At least if they take a loss and sell it to you, they might actually make some of that money back when you go through the finance department. They might even convince you that there's something there in one of their protection packages that you need. So what I would suggest to a dealer is you should never be that small-minded or short-sighted. Okay, a retail customer is always better than that wholesale loss that you're going to take at the auction, because you have an opportunity for two things. You have an opportunity for your finance and insurance departments, and you have an opportunity to create a customer for your parts and service departments. And you know what you don't have when you wholesale it at the auction? You don't have either one of those. Yay!
Yeah, I think it's some gamesmanship. All right, Dad, let's come here from John. John, thank you
Thank you,
for the
John.
contribution. Hey, I helped my son buy a 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost Dark Pony yesterday in North Carolina. I just want to say I saved thousands with your help. Thank you so much. We got a pretty good deal. Pops, it's been a while since we've seen comments like these come in because the deals were hard to come by. I
Yes.
think we're going to be flooded over the next 6 weeks with comments. No one needs to contribute like this. It's very kind, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone that does. We don't have to contribute. Just share the success stories either on Google, leave a review on the CarEdge Google page, on the community forum, CarEdge.com/community. And of course, here on YouTube, this is awesome to read. This is
Yeah.
absolutely awesome to read. This is like reminiscent of when we first started.
Yes, and this is what we should see more of this moving forward. Um, Inventory's building up. The cost of carrying that inventory is skyrocketing. It is in the dealer's best interest to turn a vehicle as quickly as they possibly can, get it off the books, stop paying interest on it, and move on to the next customer. That's what it was pre-COVID. I mean, it was everybody went into the dealership to figure out how to move the metal. Okay, not stare at the damn metal, not try and project that, well, this metal's worth 10, 20, 30, $40,000 more than what it was, I don't know, pre-COVID, because it just, we're getting back to the times where the car business is the car business, and that is a smart shopper can find a good deal. The not so informed shoppers will continue to be taken advantage of.
I want to just put a comment in here. As we work with more and more dealer partners, I learn more and more about the ins and outs of specific brands.
Yes.
50 days on the lot. So I'll share something with you, Dad. If you floor plan with Ford Motor Credit, which a lot of dealers do, but not
Sure.
every dealer does,
Yeah.
the floor plan assistance runs out at 75 days. So why do you think they were maybe willing to take a deal at a 50 day? Because they got 25 more days of floor plan
Days
assistance.
left.
Rather just
Yeah.
pocket it. Just
Yeah.
pocket it.
Yes.
Just pocket it.
Well, you're pocketing a third of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of none of it. And still
Yes.
having to sell it at a lower price.
Yes.
Just take the deal. I like, you see, I'm able to teach you some stuff. Me and my dad, when we started CarEdge,
Yeah.
he's the one with all the subject matter expertise. But now that I'm getting, bringing
Yeah.
some
Now that
dealers
you're
into the fold.
basically in the car business again.
Yeah, now that I'm
And
basically in the car business, I'm learning stuff.
that I tried to keep you out of. I
appreciate
spent my entire life saying, my children cannot go into the car business. My children cannot go into the car business. You come to me and go, well, let's help people buy cars. Let's level the playing field. And we've done it. And now suddenly, well, you're in the damn car business. You have the inside information. You can actually desk a deal. You have access to desking tools and everything else. All the stuff that I worked with on a daily basis. And so realistically, without residing inside a dealership's walls, you're in the car business. Man,
Yeah, man. And I want to be clear, we're doing it differently. We're absolutely doing it
Yes.
differently. Let's turn our attention here, Dad. We've got from Rob
Thank you, Rob.
Castle. Thank you, Rob. Do you think the UAW deal reached will push prices of cars up for good? This is so Rob, we're gonna have a whole conversation here because it ties into what I wanted to pull up on the screen a couple moments ago, which was this. We have done the analysis of OEM price inflation for new vehicles. And so Rob's question is, do you think the UAW deal will push car prices up for good? Rob, car prices were already pushed up for good. The inflation in the United States was up in the past 5 years around 22%. Subaru prices up 25%. Nissan prices up 25%. This is over a 5-year period. I'm just going to jump to it, folks, because Rob was asking. Stellantis, which is Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat, up 48.61%, and Ford up 42%. Those are two of your domestics that were up more than 40%. So to Rob's question, do you think the UAW deal reach will push prices of cars up for good? The OEMs already decided to push the prices of cars up for good. The UAW deal, I guess, will influence it even more, but they already made that decision.
The MSRPs of the cars will be up for good. Okay. They very rarely go down. Now, what will change over the next year or so as these inventories build is the size of the discount that you're able to get. And I read the comments. well, yeah, 10% discount. They went up 50%, 10%. Well, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait till they go down. Well, when they go down 50%, okay, I'm just going to tell you this right now. We will be in the worst depression this world has ever seen, and you won't have two nickels to rub together to buy that vehicle that went down 50%. Okay, they're not going to go back down like that. It would take something entirely catastrophic for prices to drop like that, and it would mean that everybody's money, which today seems like it's worth nothing, will be worth even less than nothing. So I just be realistic. Yeah, they went up 48% at Stellantis. If you can get 20% off, and you think, well, I'm going to hold out till I can get 40%, you're going to be holding out forever. Okay. I don't know what you're driving now, but just say, hey, I love you. Let's get married. I'm never going to get rid of you because nothing's ever going to go down 40%. So just deal with the reality. And the reality of the situation is many of the cars went up anywhere from 25 to 50%. If you can get 10, 15, 20, 25% off, you're doing about as good as you're going to do. Okay. And if you think it's going to go back to pre-pandemic level pricing, well, then you just haven't been paying attention to. I remember when I was a kid in the Philadelphia area, big thing was Tasty Cakes. Okay. Tasty Cakes. They made the Tasty Cake cupcakes and the Tasty Cake Juniors and the apple pie. And they were a nickel. A nickel. You'd get 3 chocolate covered cupcakes for a nickel. Okay, you can't get those for $2 today. I don't even know what it is today, but it's the point is they ain't never going back to a nickel. Okay, gasoline was 25 cents a gallon. It ain't never getting back to 25 cents a gallon. You have to live somewhat in reality, and the reality is that prices went up. Selling prices may go down a little bit, but they're not going to go back to where they were from when they started. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. I'll be good. I'm getting a headache.
You're getting a headache. Don't get a headache. You saw me. I tried to come back in, and then I had to go back out. Yeah. So inflation adjusted, prices are still going to be up, but again, Ram prices are up 50%, whereas Subaru prices are only up 25%. So you won't expect to see 20% off of Subarus, but you're damn right you should be getting 15 to 20% off that Ram. So great question, Rob. Thank you for the contribution, Michael.
Yes.
Thank you for the contribution, Michael. Michael says, I paid a reasonable $27,500 for a Hyundai Elantra Blue 2023 from Belize Auto Group in Western Massachusetts. Great. Sounds like you had an awesome experience as well. Believe the success stories. Share the success stories.
And okay. And there's a vehicle that's under 30 grand. And it's not a bad vehicle. There are options out there.
100%. There absolutely are. Dad, and I just want to make the comment because I see the comment here. Build basic trucks, crank windows. I mean, we've also done the research at CarEdge that the entry-level trims that the automakers produce, they've chosen to not produce as many of them as they have in years past and instead focus on the higher trim levels. I bet you that's where we start to see some downward pressure as entry-level trim options in 2024 and beyond become more normal because they're at price points that people can actually afford. So whether it's the Hyundai Elantra all souped up or the Hyundai Elantra at the entry level, we should see more of the entry-level options.
Well, and especially as inventory levels grow. It's one thing when there was 1.09 million new vehicles available in a given month. So as the manufacturers are, 1% can go to the base level trim. But, suddenly when there's 2.5 million, you go, well, maybe 5% should be base level now.
Exactly.
Because there's enough inventory that you can justify it. And affordability, honestly, in my mind, is going to be the biggest issue that automobile manufacturers are going to face going into 2024. And it's something that they've tried to avoid for the longest period of time. I mean, we started talking about affordability the end of last year. Okay. 12, 13, 14, 15 months ago, we started talking about affordability. And the the manufacturers kind of kept their head in the sand because the demand's still there for what we're building. Well, now the demand's not there for what they're building. So at a certain point, even the manufacturers are going, well, there could be a little bit of an affordability issue here. So we're going to need to concentrate our efforts on producing some of our lesser content vehicles. And that's what we're going to see happening.
100%. I was going to say, I'm having more and more conversations with the dealers that we're starting to work with. And repeatedly, the refrain from them is, I'm having the conversation with my factory rep about how do I get more allocation of affordable vehicles for our market. That's what I keep hearing. It's not, hey, can I get more Yukon XL Denali's? Or how can I get more Escalade ESV? It's how can I get some affordable options for my market area? We actually see this in our data, Dad. The number of people that are coming to us looking for help buying a certified pre-owned used vehicle versus new is astounding to me. And I get it because they're trying to get something that feels like it's going to be safe and good quality without the new car price point. Even though used car values have been through the roof, we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But we even see it empirically in our data. Like people just want cheaper options. And it goes back to the research that we shared before. Subaru up 25% in the past 5 years, inflation against 22%. Stellantis, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram up 50%, 49%, Ford up 41%, Hyundai, Kia up 44%. So like, some brands have gone more upscale and other brands have stayed more reasonable.
And I love when the dealers finally speak up and say, what are you going to do on an affordability basis for us? Because, I've had so many conversations over 43 years with various and assorted factory representatives. And I remember one year when the new redesigned RL came out, and my young punk ass factory rep walked in and he looked at me and he said, what are you guys doing to move the RL? And we were doing all kinds of things, taking it to special events, high roller event, just where the wealthy were, if it was a wine tasting. So we were taking cars over there. And finally I turn around and I said, what are we doing? You're the sons of bitches that built it. What are you doing to create some interest in it? Don't you have a certain responsibility here that if just because you built it, you think people are going to come? You build it, create a market for the damn thing. And if you can't, don't expect me to do it for you. So yeah, when the dealer speaks to his factory rep and says, we need some affordable vehicles, the factory rep needs to share that information with higher ups in the factory saying, this is what we're hearing on the ground. They want some affordable stuff. And without it, we're going to have a revolt on our hands. And that's just the way it is.
We got to remind Pops, you can tell he's getting heated when the accidental curse words slip out. So sorry about that, folks. This is a family-friendly show.
It's a Saturday night show, for goodness sake. I mean, come on. It's not like daytime TV.
Noel would like for you to say hello to his parrot again. His name is Julio. Thank you, Noel.
Well, hello, Julio.
Thank you for that, Noel. And Shannon, always great to see you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Trust me, gang, if I'm ever not walking straight and narrow, my dad will call me out. That's for damn sure. He is speaking the truth. It's awesome, seeing how fired up you are. And you look great tonight, Dad. You really do. You look rugged and handsome.
Well, thank you. I rugged.
Why'd you pause so long? You do. You look rugged and handsome.
No. I look like a lumberjack. I look like I could go outside and I could swing the axe one time before I keel over dead and maybe split one log. Okay. Yeah. I've got that tough guy, rough guy, outdoorsy guy look. I wouldn't go outside if you forced me to. It's cold out there, baby. Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that I look ruggedly handsome.
You look good tonight. All right, let's do one of my favorite experiments live on the show. Y'all know by now, when it comes to the used car market, I love seeing how Carvana compares to the peers in the space. We've got all these various vehicles that I track back at Carvana. So in this case, we've got a 2020 Honda Civic black on black down in Miami, Florida. Carvana says this vehicle has lost $300 worth of value in the past month. It's a $17,700 vehicle. I went over to caredge.com/sell. I've got everything entered in here. Let's click through it real quick. Pops, what have we been seeing as I'm entering this in? What have we been seeing in the used car market over the past couple of weeks?
Well, we've been seeing wholesale price declines of fairly significant levels. And when I say fairly significant levels, um, over 3% just in the last 2 weeks. And in some cases, upwards of 5% for certain model types. So that's pretty big. Typically you expect about a half a point of decline in wholesale values weekly, which translates into about 2% a month, not 3 to 5% in 2 weeks. So these declines are pretty significant. But then again, all the comments will be, yeah, but they went up 9,000. I get it, but they're going down. Okay.
Look at this. Look at this, Pop. So Carvana said it went down $300, which is not that significant. We've seen
Yeah.
vehicles drop, like you're saying, thousands of dollars. $17,700 price point here from Carvana, and then we enter it in CarMax, Car Gurus, Vroom. Everyone is higher than Carvana on this one. CarMax by almost $4,000,
Wow.
$3,300. That's
Wow.
wild, man.
Yeah.
So there's still like
And
true huge variance in the market.
and one of the reasons when you see something like that, when you see CarMax at $21,000, and they're significantly higher than anybody else, you have to realize that they have a national footprint. So they know from their data what part of the country they can get the most money for that type of Honda Civic. It might not be here in the New Jersey area, but it might be in the Southwest, in the Las Vegas area, for example. So their bids are based on them having a national footprint, and they can send that car to where it's going to bring the absolute most money. And that is truly one of the beauties of something like CarMax. We're having that information that allows them to bid appropriately for vehicles that they know they can retail based on different regions of the country.
Yeah, yeah, and we see it actually in the offers. I mean, some at markets like Miami, the offer could be through the roof, and then you run the same exact vehicle in, Duluth or something like that, and it's like the offers, nowhere
Yeah.
even near it. So there are a lot of regional aspects to this, which is honestly somewhat reminiscent of earlier this year and last year during the chip shortage when the vehicle shortage was significant. We saw arbitrage opportunities. You could go buy a minivan somewhere, drive it to California and sell it and make money. Like that was
Yes.
a scary and real reality. And there's kind of like the opposite happening right now where you
Yeah,
could
like where minivans dropped like 5% last week. So,
exactly.
which is I know I use the word huge a lot, but that's huge.
Pops, let's come back to the chat just for another minute or two here. We've got from She saying triple net. What does that mean? Can you explain what triple net means and why, occasionally I'm throwing it around, you might be throwing it around, and sales managers and GMs are always, at least now they're throwing it around again.
Triple net is invoice is what the dealer's bank pays for that vehicle. Okay, whatever the invoice amount to the dealer is what the dealer's bank pays for that vehicle. Triple net is what the actual cost of that vehicle is, less floor plan assistance, less holdback, less any of the other under the line monies or incentives that could be paid to the dealer directly for selling that particular model. So triple net is the actual absolute bottom cost that the dealer paid for it after they've gotten all the extra monies that they can from the manufacturer.
And the reason triple net's a thing nowadays is because invoice became commoditized 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Online research for car shopping made the invoice price more accessible and available. It's still hard to come by. You can ask on the community forum. Typically, we can provide those to folks on the community forum. And so then the automakers had to find ways to actually, I don't know, still have the dealers make money. And that's where you end up with triple net.
Yes.
Holdback can be a lot of money. Advertising assistance can be a lot of money. Floor plan assistance can be a lot of money. And I want a lot to be understood here. It could be more than a percentage point, 1 to 2
Oh, yeah.
percentage point of the invoice price of the vehicle. So think about that, gang. They could sell you the vehicle at invoice and still make 3-4% in gross profit, but it's now coming out of under the line monies. When they're selling you the car at triple net, or if you ever work a deal with us at CarEdge and we tell you you're getting it at triple net, there is no more monies.
Yeah.
It's all the monies. It's gone.
For instance, when I was, at our Audi store, and it was like, Audi doesn't expect the dealer to make a profit on the vehicle. Okay. They expect the dealer to take a loss on the new vehicle, and whatever the profit's going to be is going to come from the big check that Audi sends you at the end of the month for having hit your sales objective. Okay. I used to ask my rep.
This is the perfect comment for triple net, Dad.
I guess I should read it. If a dealer sells at triple net, they are praying you finance. Take it. Yes, of course. Yeah, because otherwise they ain't making anything.
Exactly.
But I used to ask my Audi rep, what's the average gross profit per model in our marketing area? And he used to give me the break. I mean, I remember Q3s. Average gross profit was a negative $1,000. That was the average gross profit. Okay. So take invoice, take $1,000 off, and that's what, now. Could there have been a little more profit in the vehicle than that? Sure. There was like 1.5% for holdback and some floor plan, but ultimately it boiled down to what that check we were going to get from Audi at the end of the month for having hit our sales objective. I mean, he told me, he says, we don't want you to make your profit off of the customer. We want you to make your profit off of us. I said, well, why don't you just lower the damn price of the cars then? Why don't you price them more appropriately?
Pops, I've got the red flashing light.
Okay.
We've had a hell of a show. Let's call it a show here. Please, everyone,
Okay.
go check out CarEdge.com. If you've enjoyed tonight's show, please subscribe to the channel. And I know you've got more juice in you, so can you let everyone know where to join us on Monday? And I'm going to pull myself out, man, because I could just go in any second here.
Well, Monday you can join us on the Ray and Zach channel for the news that you can use at noon Eastern at 9 Pacific time. That would be on the Ray and Zach channel. And the reason Zach's camera is fading is, well, he forgot to charge the battery, ladies and gentlemen. As somebody once said, poop happens. So there you have it. Thank you for tonight. I love you.
Fun.
It
I'll
has
see you
indeed.
tomorrow. What was that?
Yeah, it has indeed. And we've got both the Cardinals and the Suns tomorrow. Oh my God, it doesn't get any better than that.
All right, Pops. I love you. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. If we can help you buy the doggone car, go to CarEdge.com. Dad, I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to charge the battery right now, okay?
Okie dokie. I love you. I'll talk to you later, handsome.
Love you too, Dad. Bye.
Bye-bye.